okay, keep that because I think that's gonna help me. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help them.
Okay. So nonverbal communication,
Yes.
communication that is nonverbal. But what I found interesting is that 93% of communication is nonverbal.
Ooh.
7% of communication is actually words,
Okay.
right? And then 35% is tone,
Okay.
which I think is important.
Okay.
And then 55% is body language.
Yeah. So 7%, 7% words, 38%
Oh, my percentage
tone.
was off. 38% is
It's
tone.
all about the same. It's in the 30s.
It's in there.
So 38%.
Tone, and 55% is your body language, which means that your body shows up in the conversation before your words do. And
More than your words,
more
too.
than your words do, because it's often not what you say, but how you say it. And I think that's represented in the tone, which is 38%. But when you think about it, like, communication is more about what you're doing non-verbally than what you're actually saying.
We still do. We still do. We still do.
We still do after all this time at the altar. I alter my mind and vow to God I love you till he make his return. The rain should be the least of your concern. Under God's umbrella, I promise to provide and preserve his word and to serve your mind and spirit. Let me drive the boat. I promise I'ma steer it. The devil cannot get near it. You'll know this soon as you hear it. You need me, I need you. Even after the altar, we still do.
Welcome back to another episode of We Still Do, where we believe you can thrive after the altar. Whether you are newlyweds or decades in, We Still Do is for you.
Yes. And if you've been listening to us and you've been enjoying the content and you feel it's valuable, help us spread our message. We want you to thrive. We don't just want you to exist in marriage. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Send this out. We need marriages healthy. We need marriages
Yes.
healed. And so if you feel it's been valuable for you, share it with somebody else who can benefit from it.
Absolutely. We're your hosts. My name is Geraldine.
And I am Jermaine.
Yeah, because we didn't kind of share that introduction. But
We didn't. And I was also going to say my name was Geraldine too. So it worked. It worked.
We're one, so kind of. Yeah? No? Maybe?
No, I will never be Geraldine.
Wow.
You're amazing.
Don't say like it's a bad thing. Oh, thank you.
No. Back away.
How are you doing?
That body language didn't communicate what you just said.
How are you doing, honey?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. Today's a good day. New day, new mercies. It's good. We got a heat wave though that's coming in. That's not good. I'm like not quite ready for summer, but ready or not, here it comes. So yeah, I'm gonna be inside. Not a lot of outside this summer. We live where there's triple digits, by the way. So
You in the triple digits? You hot?
I'm a hot girl.
No, you're just hot.
Oh.
You don't want to be a hot girl.
Oh, that's not a good thing.
No.
Okay. I'm clearly not cultured.
Yeah,
Okay.
hot girl, somebody who fasts.
Oh, no.
Hot girl is
I'm a
somebody
holy hot girl.
No.
What's wrong with that?
That means you would just be a holy fast girl.
No. Okay.
Somebody who out here tuning it up.
Okay. Not for the Lord. Not for the Lord. Okay, thank you. I'm just going to receive the compliment because this is going like worse and worse.
I'm just trying to give you these extra nonverbals so we can kind of lean into what we're going to talk about today. Anyways.
Okay. Lean into it a little bit. Tell me.
Okay, so today we really want to talk about the importance of nonverbal communication skills. Go ahead, tell me what's on your mind.
Nothing. Go ahead. You're
sure?
good.
I want to know.
No, that's it. Just nonverbal. Just, little hee. Go ahead. Continue.
So are you laughing at me? Are you laughing with me?
With you. I'm with you on this.
Oh, that ain't really matching.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so we really wanted to come and talk to you today about like nonverbal communication because it plays such a huge part, and oftentimes in conversations we pay a lot of emphasis, a lot of conscious emphasis on the words, when in reality, unconsciously, we pay more attention to the body language. We pay more attention to the non-verbals that we use. And so today we're not sharing about nonverbal so you can say, aha, you said something other than what your body is saying, you're lying. That's
My
not what we're
mind is
doing.
telling me no, but my body. Okay, sorry.
That's actually great. That was great. But we really want to help you because it's
Mhm.
not about necessarily like trying to identify what's going on with your spouse, although that is helpful and we'll get into that. But this is really for you to understand that you really want what you say and what you do to be aligned.
Yep, how
Because
you
when
show
it's
up.
aligned, now you can
Mhm.
communicate more effectively with your spouse.
Yep.
And so that's what we're here to talk about today. And so we have this general understanding, and we're not going to make it overcomplicated. We really want to keep it simple. And so we're just going to share with you what is nonverbal communication. So, honey, what is nonverbal communication?
Nonverbal communication is communication that is not verbal.
Oh, that's
No, but
deep.
seriously though, nonverbal communication is how your body shows up in the conversation. When words are not present, what is your body saying? I think it's the eyes, eye contact, rolling of the eyes, the way that you're sitting, how you're leaning into the conversation, the gestures, your face expressions, because that gets me in trouble often. I feel like my face says something that my words are not communicating often. Like you don't agree?
No.
I feel like you'll say something and my face will twist up and like before I ever utter any words. But
But for that's what I'm saying. For me, it's different. Like I know how to read you, not just because I'm your spouse, but because I'm a therapist.
of course, because you're a therapist. But in
Yeah.
general,
I
it
see
could be
you.
your facial
I
expressions
see
as
you,
well,
honey.
your hand movements, the way that you're listening. Let's say that you're talking to me, but I'm on my phone. Like even that is nonverbal, but it's still saying something about how I'm engaging in the conversation.
Oh, okay. Keep that because I think that's gonna help me. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help them.
Okay. So nonverbal communication,
Yes.
communication that is nonverbal. But what I found interesting is that 93% of communication is nonverbal.
Ooh.
7% of communication is actually words,
Okay.
right? And then 35% is tone,
Okay.
which I think is important.
Okay.
And then 55% is body language.
Yeah. So 7%, 7% words, 38%
Oh,
tone.
my percentage was off. 38% is
It's
tone.
all about the same. It's in the 30s.
It's in there.
So 38%.
Tone, and 55% is your body language, which means that your body shows up in the conversation before your words do. And
More than your words.
more
too.
than your words do, because it's often not what you say, but how you say it. And I think that's represented in the tone, which is 38%. But when you think about it, like communication is more about what you're doing non-verbally than what you're actually saying.
That made me think of like I hear speakers talk about like when they go and study themselves,
Mhm.
they mute it and they look at
Watch.
body language.
Yep.
What is my body communicating, especially if 93% of what I'm saying is coming off through my tone and through my word or through my body.
Mm-hmm.
And my gestures, like my eyes, like so this is related but not, related.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking with somebody and we were talking about like I was kind of helping them go through like how do you initiate conversation in a group,
Mm-hmm.
because they like some anxiety about it, kind of not used to it, and so now they're in a space to where they feel they can develop friends and they're like finding like a group, and so they like it want to get to a point to initiate and invite people to group settings, like hey, like, oh, let's go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like we kind of role played a little bit and it was kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? And so I just gave him some feedback like you saying it and I can feel you're anxious because you're saying it and like you're like, hey guys, let's go out to, you know what I'm saying? And it's coming off that way. And so I told him like don't feel away because you have to work on it. Like it's actually a skill that you can develop. You're nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sharing with him like for me, I use my voice a lot because my facial expressions really don't help me.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of facial expressions at all.
Right. Which I love when it comes to like my type of jokes.
Your dad jokes that people don't
But
know you joking.
when I'm trying to communicate how I feel, I know I have to do more work facially to convey that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so like it's something that like I have to work on, especially with nonverbal. And so understanding that it's a skill,
That can be learned. That's good.
it can be learned.
Mhm.
And so honestly, that's really, really what we want you to know. Your nonverbal, given that it's 93% of how you communicate, it can be learned.
Mhm.
Like you can develop, like there's literally, people that help with singing,
Yep.
like
Vocal
they help
coaches,
you with like vocal coaches,
speech coaches,
speech coaches, like
speech
they
therapy.
help you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, and so think about that. Like 93, like to me, that is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
When you
saying?
think that
Like,
only 7% of communication is actually words, I'm like, what? So what are we doing here?
because we think like we put so much emphasis on like the words, the
Mhm.
vernacular, like, and I think having an extensive vocabulary is dope. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like being able to use words like are, I love that.
That no one understands but you. Yeah, it's really dope.
But when you think about trying to communicate to people, like we get so caught up in like saying these words, like we really don't understand like how we're saying it makes all the difference. And
Yeah.
I think when we think of how we're saying it, we get caught up in just the vocal tone.
Mm.
But you mentioned something, and we can kind of just dive in from here, and we'll just take off. You said sometimes when I'm talking to you, you're on your phone, and that communicates more than that communicates more to me than you able to tell me what I just told you
Hmm.
after we talk. Go into that because that's interesting.
I'm just saying, like, if that is nonverbal communication. So let's say that if I'm on my phone and you're talking, and it depends on the conversation, there's times where we just talking and it's not that deep, right?
Mhm.
But if we're having a conversation, it obviously shows that I'm not present, I'm distracted, you're not getting my full attention, which in return would obviously make you feel not prioritized in that moment
Mhm.
of you trying to have a conversation with me. So I
Yeah.
feel like that is even non-verbally saying like I'm not really here with you in this conversation.
Mhm. And it's also like to me, like when I think about it, for me in those moments, it's like I literally think about like tug of war.
Fighting for my attention.
Yeah, it's literally like you're listening to me talk, you know I'm a priority, but whatever you're doing or listening to or watching on your phone, like it's really pulling at your attention just as hard.
I
And
see. That's a good picture.
it's like, bro, like just like because you know I got my man a few words, like just give me like 3 minutes, bro. Like, and I'm done. And you can go back to doing whatever you was doing. So it's like in those moments, like that communicates more because I know often, like you said, like, what? I'm listening. And then
Hmm.
you can go back from A to Z, tell me what you've told me, but it also still made me feel like, bro, like you weren't really listening to me.
Even though I could repeat it back to you.
Even though you could repeat it back to me, because
What?
listening to me,
I'm a great multitasker.
communication is not just a matter of like receiving the information or giving the information. It's also about understanding.
Mm.
And so if you're on your phone and I'm talking to you, like what's the understanding on my part? Like what do I understand about this situation? To me, it tells me that there's something that needs to pull your attention right now, or like something that that's so entertaining, or in a lot of cases it can be like, "Ah, I really don't want to hear you, but I'm gonna do this, but I also hear you." You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like, and I can see a lot of couples in, getting tripped up by that because we're so like, we get so many dopamine hits from our phone. Like we get so much of this rush of pleasure because in essence it's entertainment. Even if you're going on there for educational things, and obviously we're specifically talking about social media,
Right.
but whenever there is something else that's pulling for your attention, like it's fulfilling something within you, especially if you can't put it aside to talk with your spouse.
Yeah.
And so even with saying that, like,
Phones are a big issue in marriages too. I can't tell you how many times you hear like they're on their phone too much or they're on their phone too much. We just did an episode where we shared about, the situation with us. Go back and watch it if you haven't. But it's like, okay, I could see that. And what about the couples that are at, okay, I'm gonna tell you this because I thought it was interesting. They're talking about a different perspective of couples who at dinner and they on their phone, but they're not talking to each other. They were like, what if that couple has been married for 40 years and they don't even have to speak anymore? They just know each other's thoughts and what they're thinking.
Mhm.
And okay, yeah, I could see that, I guess. But in my mind, y'all not even thinking or
I would still call
engaging.
cap.
I would call cap because y'all not even engaging to even know what the thought is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like you could be connected in such a way after a long time, but I feel like there's always a need for communication. Like we don't get to a point where I'm assuming I know everything that you're thinking and you assuming that you know everything that I'm going to respond to what you're thinking, to where we don't need to actually verbally or with our body language or with our tone express
Mhm.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's something that is often called out about like couples at dinner and they're looking at their phones and like, I don't want to be that couple, you know? But just because we were talking about phones and how they can actually be a distraction, we have the no phone zones
Mhm.
in our home when it comes to certain things. But
Yeah.
yes, nonverbal communication.
And I think nonverbal is also important, especially when you think about times of stress, because usually when you get in those high stressful conversations or really hard confrontational arguments,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of who you are shows up. So like for example, in an attachment history, like there is this um attachment theory, I guess it was. There's this idea of like secure and insecure attachment styles. So in insecure attachment styles, two of them that a lot of people have is pursuer or withdrawer.
Mm-hmm.
So when there is this anxiety that or this sense of like disconnection or stress that's coming up between us, like my body's natural way of responding when I feel a sense of disconnection is I'm either going to pull away because it helps me feel safe, or I'm going to push towards you
Lean in,
because
yeah.
connection makes me feel safe. And so in those moments, um, this FBI agent, uh, he's well known for his work on body language, and one of the things he said is like, um, our bodies leak truth when under stress
Mm.
through our posture, facial tension, and gestures. And so, in moments of stress, like the way we communicate is pretty much operating in a way that is kind of like um, bypassing like how we want to show up. You know what I'm saying? So if we're arguing, like if I feel like this is too much, I'm gonna pull away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if we're arguing and I don't feel seen by you, I'm gonna get louder and raise my voice. You know what I'm saying? So like it's these ways that we interact. And so in those moments, what is our body saying about us?
Mm.
What is our body communicating? Because we hear it all the time. And I know you, I do this to you. You'll ask me what's wrong. I'll be like, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But even the way I say it, which I'm telling
Your
on myself
tone.
now,
Yep.
even the way I say it and the way I present myself says
Something wrong.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
But in reality, what I don't communicate is something is wrong, but I just need a moment to myself to figure it out or to even kind of let it subside a little bit so I can talk about it. And so then the question is like, why is that my response? Why do I say I'm okay when I'm not really okay?
Mm.
And it's because like when I have shared with you before, early on, I think it was when we were like friends or something, when I did share with you about like um how I was feeling, like it almost caused this anxiety within you, like, oh, he's not okay. Like I need to fix it. And it's like, what's the
Savior
matter?
complex.
You know what I'm
Forgive
saying?
me.
Like, and it's like, oh no, I don't want you to feel like that because it's not a matter of what you did. I just have to work through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't want that to come off. And so I through that I learned my response is like, I'm okay. And so it's important to understand that because it does communicate something that um like you want to communicate something that makes you congruent with how you feel and you want to convey it accurately to your partner.
Yeah.
So um So what I really want to talk about is, and this will kind of be like the last little bit. Um, so the last thing I want to bring up as far as like nonverbal communication is this idea of when we communicate nonverbally with our social engagement system. It's a fancy way of saying like, how do we register just kind of like on our face, safety or threat to our partner?
Mm.
And it sounds like super deep. Like when we say like safety or threat, like it's not threat in the sense of like I'm making you feel like you're in danger, but it's my nervous system. Like, does it feel safe to reach out, or does it feel like it has to respond in a reactive way?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, with this idea, like when when our body, and I really want to read this because it has like I have a list of what it looks like to feel safe, what it looks like when it feels threatened. When your body feels safe, your facial muscles soften, your voice tone is warm and steady, eye contact, for my phoners out there, is consistent. There is this breathing slow, which the breathing slow represents like a calm nervous system. Your body posture is open and relaxed. Like this would be like your arms not crossed. Um, kind of, kind of.
I'm just illustrating here.
You feel present, able to listen, share, and emotionally connect. So when you feel safe, there's this sense of you that says like, I'm in this relaxed state and I can engage with you. And so when you feel when you feel safe and when your partner is communicating safety, like you notice these things about your partner. Oftentimes when we communicate, we don't necessarily jump into like, oh, like your tone is harsh. That makes me feel threatened. Like we don't say that.
Right.
We just react. Whether it's like I'm gonna get because you getting loud, I'm gonna get louder.
Match your energy. Yeah.
Or you get loud, I'm gonna kind of get lower and I'm gonna kind of pull away. Or I'm gonna shut down.
I was gonna say shut down. Yeah.
And so there's three of them. And so when your body feels threatened, as far as like your social engagement, like shutting down, like when you're in fight or flight, basically, like your voice becomes loud, sharp.
What's all the extra on the sharpness?
I'm just trying to get you to catch my tone.
I'm not sharp.
And fast. You chicken nugget. Sorry. Your eyes are dark. There's tension in your jaws and hand. So like your body like tenses up.
Clenched up.
Your heart rate increases. You feel defensive, reactive, or anxious. Communication becomes about survival, not connection. And this is what is probably the most important part when there is a sense of threat. When our bodies don't feel safe, it goes into survival mode. Like your body can't tell a difference between fear and anxiety. They both feel the same to your body. Like fear is a response to an actual perceived threat, like something I see threatening, like somebody about to throw a knife at me, whatever. Like
it's very scary.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's an actual threat. The knife
Right.
is the threat. But anxiety is me imagining somebody gonna walk around the corner and throw a knife, but it didn't actually happen. But when your body responds, it responds in a way that both are threatening. And so now this is where your body gets to a point of like feeling like discomfort, uneasy, tension, fight or flight mode, or freeze. So when you're talking with your spouse and there's this sense of threat, your body, it's hard for your body to distinguish between it being a threat and anxiety. Or like your spouse actually feels like a real threat to your body. And so when you raise your voice because they feel like a threat, or like when they raise their voice and you feel them being threatening, your body's going to respond in a way that says, I need to engage, I need to fight, or I need to flee. And in those moments, our body communicates, as the FBI agent said, like our body leaks the truth.
Right.
In those moments, our body is communicating something about survival. It's not about connection at this point. Because now, like, I just need to survive. Like my body is feeling overwhelmed, so I need to do something to protect it. And that's what we don't understand as couples when we are communicating, when we're in this fight or flight, or when we feel threatened or safe. We want to come off as safety to our partner. We want to be a safe haven. You know what I'm saying? So even when we're talking, like if I'm being gentle and I'm rubbing you, like it'll naturally like bring on this smile about you. You know what I'm saying? And like even though like I'm teaching right now, like you feel like, dang, and I'm reading your
I'm
body
calm.
language. And I'm reading your body language as we
Mhm.
talking.
Mhm.
Because what's happening is like
No, keep
there
touching
is
me.
this there is this co-regulation that's happening. So when I'm calm and let's just say you're angry, like naturally it calms in a sense. Like
So you gonna regulate my anger?
it is regulating. Like think of it like for with kids. Kids more so can't control it. But if I come off as calm, like you're gonna register that as like either I'm going to like match your energy, that's kind of the way to say it nowadays. Like
Right.
I'm gonna match your energy, or like I'm gonna really hold on to this and really make you, you know what I'm saying, feel what I feel. Like I was talking to somebody last week. And he said like he was just like angry and like he was like saying all type of things to his partner. And he said like she was just like calm and she was just like very responsive and respectable. And like I understand like you're angry, but you're not going to talk to me that way. And he said that made him feel guilty because it's like, dang, like yes, like I have a legit reason to be angry, but it makes me feel like I shouldn't be, and we can actually be in a space where we can talk
Yeah,
this out.
that's good.
And so when it comes to like showing up a certain way, like it does affect the body to help the person relax. And so being a safe space is not just with your words, it's also with your presence, with your tone. Because, and I'll reiterate it, when it comes to like safety or threat, your body in moments of stress respond for survival, not connection. And so we gotta survive. Like we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, I can go on and on about that because I just love, just the social engagement system, all the things. But so then there's also when your body shut down or freezes, like, and this is probably what you notice about me. This is more my response. Your voice goes flat or quiet. Face goes blank. Posture slumps or pull away. You feel emotionally numb, disconnected, or withdrawn.
You stop counting. Why you stop counting?
Because you feel emotionally numb, disconnected, or withdrawn.
Thumbs.
Yeah. I'm gonna count how our daughter counts. But anyways, just wanting to share this because like body posture and tone like just makes such a huge difference.
It does.
And I was kind of sharing it with you offline of the Bible verse I wanted to use. But I'm gonna share it.
Go ahead.
Because I think it does pose questions, right? So the Bible verse that I want to talk about is when Peter denied Jesus, right? Peter denied Jesus, and then you get to the point of it in Luke chapter 22, verse 61. And it said, the Lord turned and looked at Peter, and Peter remembered the saying of the Lord, how he had said to him, before the rooster crows today, you will deny me 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly. For me, when we talk about nonverbal communication, Jesus didn't say anything to Peter, but it was something about the way that Peter it was something about the way Jesus looked at Peter that Peter saw that affected him in a certain way. And so the question was like, what was it about how Jesus' face looked for me that caused Peter to feel that type of way, to run away bitterly? Because when I think about it now, this is just me getting imaginative. Like, if Jesus told me I was going to deny him 3 times and I said nah, and then like the rooster crows 3 times, and then I look at Jesus and I remember if he would have had like just this face of like disgust or resentment, I think that would have made me feel angry.
Mm.
Like I think it would have just me as a person, like me running away bitterly, like I don't for me it's like I would have been angry.
I think it was more of like him running away bitterly. It was because he said, when the rooster crow, before the rooster crow, you would deny me 3 times.
Mhm.
And so it was like he looked at him and then it came to his remembrance of what he actually had told him. So
Right.
the bitterness was like, oh my gosh, I did the very thing I told you, no, I would never. And it actually happened.
Right, but think about when we're in those situations and that's a moment for pride to come up. How often does that pride come up and we don't,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying, express that bitterness or that, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I see what you
because
mean.
like there's something on the partner's face, and obviously we're going back to marriage now, but there's something on the partner's face that conveys a threat
Mm.
versus like vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been hurt or so it's like to me it's like looking at Jesus like like looking at his face, what would make me like feel like I just betrayed him? Because when you think about it, and I'm not talking about like how Judas looked or anything like that, but he responded in such a great way that he went and like, man, I betrayed him. Like I don't like here, like get this, like
Mm-hmm.
take this money back. I don't want it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like something that distressed him so much. What was it about Jesus' response that caused such a great, distress? Like it wasn't like he was making them feel a certain way, but because of how he responded, it drew out their response of how they felt versus like a protection. And I know that okay. Um,
Do you go on?
because it just makes me think like, and I'm just going on at this point because I'm so baffled by it. But when Peter looks at Jesus' face after denying him 3 times and the rooster crows, like I can only imagine him looking in Jesus' eyes and probably Jesus giving this like Father forgive them for they know not what they do type of look.
Mm.
And it's like looking in those eyes, it's like, dang, like this is my leader. Like this is the person who
I
like
just
I
betrayed him.
follow and like he talked about like somebody at this table was gonna betray me and we found out it was Judas and dang, like this is the same type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can imagine the look that he had that would evoke that type of response in Peter. And so that's just kind of where my mind goes when we talk about like nonverbal. Like, what are we communicating to the person that they respond to that versus our words? And so I just think it's really important when in relationship to be aware of not just what we say, but also be aware of like how we're presenting what we say,
Yeah.
like
It's
how we're
important.
using our tone and how we're using our body. Because at the end of the day, all of it, especially when like statistically, when emotion is ambiguous, like when there's more than one interpretation of it, we usually interpret body language than we do words. And so if that's the case, we need to be more intentional with how we communicate our body language than our words,
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that was for Freeskies. Um so
Got our marriage in motion.
as always, we got a marriage in motion. Honey, thank you for letting me take over this session and kind of just nerd out a little bit.
Go for it, honey.
I know you usually like to be more involved in all the things, but this is just my jam. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but our marriage in motion. So this is what we want you to do. Because body language is so important, we got 3 steps for you. The first step is we want you to be self-aware. What does my body do when I feel disconnected or I feel unsafe? What and how do I show I'm listening without words? So just do a self-awareness to be aware of that. Step 2 is attunement. This is where you're going to tune into your spouse, and I want you to ask them, do I make you feel emotionally safe with my tone, face, or posture? When you look at me, how does that make you feel? And then the second part of that is, what could I do better non-verbally to show you love even in tough moments? The third step is, now you're going to practice. What we want you to do is take 2 to 3 minutes daily, sit together face to face, speak without distractions. No distractions. 2 to 3 minutes seems so small, but in those moments it can feel so long. Me and Lena did like an eye-to-eye thing.
Mm-hmm.
Use open posture, soft tone, and eye contact. And this is what we want you to do for the Marriage Emotion Challenge today. And so I'll let you close, honey.
Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification button so you don't miss a weekly episode that we upload for you on Thursdays. Send to someone. Share this message with someone you know who can use it, and understanding the different ways in which we communicate and how 93% of that is not even verbiage or words.
Yeah.
Make sure you share it with a couple that could benefit from this episode and help us spread the message that you could actually thrive and not just survive in your marriage. We are so grateful that you decided to
Yes.
tune in with us today. And as always, a thriving marriage is for you.
Peace.
Never and always gonna love you and always. No doubt you're my blessing. Ain't no second guessing. No one can separate. We're